Alright, so this video is going to be covering two topics, factor pairs and multiples. Both of these are used for, it's the base of algebra for a lot of the things you're going to do in pre-algebra and like algebra 1, algebra 2. So it's important that you understand what these are. So first is a factor pair, which is just a pair of numbers that when multiplied equal another number. And this definition, I mean, it's probably the simplest definition you can get of it, but it might not make that much sense. But so like if we take like the factor pair for 2, well, the only factor pair for 2 is 2 times 1. 3 would be 3 times 1. And you get into this later, these would be prime numbers. But then you get into stuff like if we look at 4 here, uh, so if we look at 4, we are going to have like the same as the others, 4 and 1, but we're also going to have 2 and 2. So a factor pair is just any two numbers that can equal a number, and you will have multiple for some. If you look at 12, 12 is going to have 3 and 4, 2 and 6, 1 and 12. And you're going to use that later for factoring, which is a separate thing, but it uses this as the base. So these are just some examples. I'll write out, I guess, like a higher number for one last one. We'll just do 20. So we're going to have 20 times 1, and then we're going to have 10 times 2, and then we're going to have 4 times 5. And I believe that that is the only 3 there are. Yeah, but yeah. So that's factor pairs. And then moving on to multiples. Multiples is just, so there's like two ways of looking at it. You can either say, like, if we take 9, for example. So we can say, what are the multiples of 9? Well, a multiple is multiplying something. It's like 9 times 2, 9 times 3. So like we write out 9 times 3, 9 times 4. So I mean, you got 18, 27, and then 36. These are all multiples of 9 because it's 9 times a number giving you this number. So, like, I mean, you'd have like 9 times 5, 9 times 6, you have like 45, 54, and just keep going, 63. So, you have that. That would be multiples of 9. But you can also look at it of, we'll take 9 again because it's a pretty handy number for this. What would be like, what is a multiple of 9? So, like, what can you multiply here to get 9? Which would be, this is actually a factor pair. It would be 3 times 3. So, 9 is a multiple of 3 because you can multiply 3 to get it. So you can either say, what is a multiple of 9, or what is 9 a multiple of? Oftentimes, whenever you're looking at factoring, you're going to be looking at what is 9 a multiple of? That's going to be the main thing. So like, what is 16 a multiple of? And because you're going to get into things where you have to find the factor pair that fits a certain number. So it's good to know these. Like we could do another example of if we look at 16. we can look at 16 and say, so this is another pair, but we could say that 16 is a multiple of 4 because you have 4 times 4. But it's also a multiple of 2 because you can have 2 times 8, and it's a multiple of 8. That is really atrocious. Because you can have 8 times 2. So it's a multiple of 4, it's a multiple of 2, it's a multiple of 8. So really any number that can multiply to it, it's a multiple of. And then if you need to find multiples of a given number, you can just multiply it. And I mean, that's all, pretty short. Um, and this is something that you'll use for quite some time.